Welcome back to the Sawmill, friends. It's Saturday. I have a lot going on today, but the first thing we need to do is go down here and check on the kiln. See how we're doing here. All right, guys, I don't know if the screen will come through or not, but the temperature inside the kiln is 149.7. I got that set for 150 degrees, so we're good right there. It looks like I got about 3 hours left and this load will be finished. So this load of walnut I dried for 7 days and I got the moisture down to right at 8%. So it's pretty much done as far as the drying goes, but the last day, which is today, I sterilized that load. And that means I heat the kiln up to 150 degrees, which increases the temperature of the lumber in the core to 133 degrees, which is what you need to kill any kind of insects or bugs that are inside the wood. And after you hold that temperature for exactly 24 hours, the kiln will shut down. I let the kiln cool off on its own for about 2 days, and then I'll pull the lumber out. Let's step inside the timber frame here for just a second, let you guys see what's been going on in here. Right there is my Wood-Mizer edger that you guys asked me about. I really don't have a good place to put this thing yet, but I'm working on that. Now right there, we got the new hammer machine. If you're new to this channel, this is a 16-inch jointer planer combo machine. I did have it somewhere different in the barn, but I decided to move it over here closer to the power panel because electrical supplies are through the roof right now, so it made it a little bit cheaper to run the wire over here. This machine is wired up and ready to go. I just need to put the fence on and get all this stuff off the cast iron right here that protects it from rusting. Some of you guys were asking about the cutter head, and it does have the helical cutter head right there. I think Hammer calls this a silent cutter head. Really like these right here over top of having planer blades. These are easy to change. You don't have to index them or nothing like that. And they make a better cut in my opinion. Putting some lights in this area. So we got some 8-footers installed. I've not really done much in here. I moved the miter saw over. I got some lumber stacked. Now this wall that we just finished, I did put the metal on it about 4 days ago, so we have metal on the outside of this wall. Then over here in what I call the motor room, because the motor pretty much takes up all the room in here, I've got a new bandsaw. I've been putting this thing together as well. This is a Powermatic 14-inch bandsaw. This is, I think, 1.5 horsepower. I've never owned a Powermatic machine, but a lot of people swear by them. This is my first time using one, so hopefully I'll have good luck with it. It is a nasty mess out here today. It rained for the past 3 days. Standing water everywhere. It's a swamp. Now let's go jump in the tractor and hopefully not make a mess down here in this swamp. Take some of these pines up to the sawmill. So here's our project for the day. This is the old kiln that we turned into the chicken house. I did add a window to it the other day, so we got some more ventilation. As you guys can tell, it needs a lot of siding here on these 2 sides. And I've also got to build the chicken run, which would go right there. It'll be 16 foot long and 10 foot wide. While we're up here, we might as well go in and say hello. These chickens grow overnight, guys. Turn the light on. There they are. It's amazing how fast these chickens grow. In case you're wondering, we have 12 total. Don't ask me what kind, I can't remember. We got a lot to get done today. Let's get started. I tell you what, guys, that pine log we just brought up here is heavy. Man, that thing was heavy. The reason I didn't use a 754 in the grapple to bring it up here is because it's so wet. I think that tractor weighs close to 8,000 pounds. It would make just a mud hole down there trying to get that log out. The 574 is not as heavy. It does a really good job lifting logs, but it's not as heavy. Therefore, I can go in wet areas like that and not make such a mess. Hopefully by Monday, this rain will this water rather, will dry up a little bit. We'll be in better shape. Before we start on that pine, I forgot about this one right here, friends, and this one is nasty, let me tell you. It's 8 foot long. It's not very large. The diameter is about 13 inches on the operator's side. It looks like to be about the same thing down there. Got some large knot clusters here every 2 feet, it looks like. This was a yard tree. A tree service guy gave it to me. I got it for nothing since it's such a low grade log. But we will get something out of it here. I'll probably cut up some more 1x6s. That's what we're going to do in the big log anyways. And I need 10 footers, but it'd be nice to have some 8 footers also in case I need to do some trim around the chicken house. On the sawmill today, I'm running the Joe Maine Silvertip Turbo 7. I get those from Joe Maine down in Georgia. If you want those blades, give him a call. His cell phone number is down in the video description. This log is 10 feet long. Operator side, the diameter is almost, well, we would call it 21 inches right there. Then down here on the other end, if I can get in here to it, looking at about 24 inches. So a little bit of taper in that log, and not a whole lot. Let's look at our log stick here. On the Doyle scale, so if we have a 10-foot log, no, I'm looking at it wrong. We start over again. On the Doyle scale, a 10-foot log at 22 inches diameter on the small end should yield 202 board feet. That's probably the yield we'll get out of this log today. I do find on the Doyle scale, the smaller logs, you get more of a yield. When you get up to 20 inches and higher, it's usually pretty accurate. Let me bring the camera in, guys, and show you all my strategy and how I'm going to turn this big log into a lot of 1x6s. I hope this makes sense to most of you guys. So I'll come in here first to make a face cut. Based on the size of this log, probably about 8 inches or so, turn it 180 and do the same thing. At that point, I'm going to be searching for 3 cants that are going to be 6 inches in the width, and the height of them, I don't really care as far as the other measurement goes. The more the merrier, put it that way. So I want to work around this log and have my middle cant for my 1x6s be right here in the middle. That way I keep the juvenile wood right there in the middle of this cant, and it's not on the side of these other 2 cants I'll be trying to find, because this juvenile wood is very unstable. It will shrink in its length, and if you put juvenile wood on the end of a cant right here, you're asking for problems. It's going to bow and twist and do all kinds of terrible things. I always work around that. So I'm looking for 18 3/8 as far as being my key measurement. Once I get that on this plane right here, I can come down and make my 6-inch cuts and get 3 6-inch cants right there. And we'll probably have a few jacket boards as well on the side. But that's my strategy today. We'll probably get a good yield out of this log based on it being 22 inches on the small end. But real fast, friends, I want to thank everybody on Patreon for supporting me here on the channel. I really appreciate it. And if you're interested in that and supporting what we do here, there's a link down below. Go check it out. So let's get going, guys, and open this one up. It should be a good one. I'm not going to be able to get 3 6-inch cants out of this log. I thought I could, but I came up short by about 3/8. So I'm going to come up here and make 1-inch cuts. And when I get to 12 1/4, I'll stop and come down here and make a cut at 6 1/8. And that would give us our 2 6-inch cants right here. And these top boards I'll throw in the loading arms. We'll edge those down to 2 1x6s after we get done sawing these 2 cants. So sometimes, guys, you don't get what you want, but we'll still get a lot of boards out of this top section right here, even though we're not going to get a 6-inch cant. It involves more sawing, but it's just part of it, guys. Sometimes it don't turn out the way you like it. I think I'm done for the night. I'm about 1 hour. Actually, later than that, I'm over an hour late. I'm over an hour late for dinner. I better get in the house and eat before it gets too cold. Also, the boards are starting to look a little rough, and based on what I'm hearing on the sawmill, I think we need a new blade on there. So we'll come back in the morning, we'll put a brand new blade on this sawmill, we'll finish up this log, then we'll take them on down to the chicken house and start putting the siding on. I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, guys. I'll bring you guys with me. You guys have a good evening, and thanks for watching.